Welcome back to another Micmac Tabletop review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bersa Thunder 22 semi-automatic pistol. This is the Bersa Thunder 22 pistol made in Argentina. It is the dual-tone model with its silver frame and black sliding grips. You may be more familiar with the 380 version of this pistol. It's very popular, but like the Bersa Thunder 22, it's fairly inexpensive, so it gets dismissed by people who automatically assume poor quality and poor performance. I did a review of this Bersa Thunder 380 years ago. You can still see that video episode at 2020-14 from my YouTube playlist. My conclusion was that the 380 was actually a much better pistol than you'd expect. In fact, my wife has two pistols she usually likes to take to the range: a full-size Beretta 92 FS 9mm and this Bersa Thunder 380. Go figure. But she says she likes them, and here's the thing, she doesn't care what anyone says. If you watch many of my videos, you know that I own a bunch of Walther PPK type pistols, probably more than a dozen, and she's tried most of them, but she prefers this Bersa Thunder 380. It doesn't matter that you could buy 3 or 4 of these Bersas for a price of one Walther PPK, for example. She likes what she likes, and that's it. Now, to be honest, this Bersa Thunder 380 is indeed a smooth operating, comfortable, reliable, and accurate little shooter. So the question is, will this 22 version end up being better than expected? And that's what we're going to find out here. Visually, it looks identical to the 380 version, but as a 22, it's obviously going to have some differences, and we'll explore more of that in depth. But before we do, let's make sure this gun is cleared first. And by the way, if you enjoy this review, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Founded in the 1950s by 3 Italian immigrants, all were mechanical engineers, the Argentina company began as a parts contractor for another now defunct Argentina arms manufacturer. In 1959, they began making their own pistols, and in 1960, they established their trademark name, Bersa. Bersa originally produced the Thunder 380 for the market in South American countries, where the highest pistol caliber that civilians are allowed to own is the 380 ACP. So it's no surprise that the Bersa Thunder 380 was and still is very popular there. Looking at the Thunder, there's no doubt Bersa took inspiration from the famous Walther PPK. Here's my Walther PPK-S. You can see the similarities. But the Bersa Thunder is actually a very different firearm with what some would consider improvements in design. Bersa not only gave considerable attention to making a good, serious firearm, Bersa also wanted its firearm to be available at an affordable price. And that's an important point in the history and the success of Bersa. The Bersa Thunder series, including the Thunder 22, was introduced in 1994 with the Thunder name applied to their pistol line. The Bersa Thunder 22 is actually an updated version of the all-steel double single action Bersa Model 23-22 that was produced between 1988 and 1998. The Bersa Thunder line gained success in the late 90s and the early 2000s. The attraction of the Bersa Thunder 22 was, of course, its economical operation as a 22 and its value as a training pistol. Production of the Bersa Thunder line has been in Argentina since 1994 and has remained continuous even until this day. The blowback design Thunder 380 and Thunder 22 have been quite popular, with even used Bersa Thunder pistols retaining a very good retail value given what many would consider a very low original cost. As for packaging, the Thunder would come in either a cardboard box or a plastic case. The cardboard box with cardboard divider seems to have been the most common. This Thunder 22 came in an odd-shaped plastic case. We've got a manual and other paperwork, and we've got a key for the in-frame safety lock system, and we even got a trigger lock here. This is where I try to find movies in which the firearm I'm reviewing has been seen. No, I didn't really find any films with the Bersa Thunder 22 specifically, but I did find one with the Thunder 380. It's the 1998 Tommy Lee Jones film U.S. Marshals, which was a follow-up film to Tommy Lee's 1993 film The Fugitive. Given how the 380 and the 22 are so similar in looks, unless you're looking down the muzzle, how would you know? I suppose it could have been actually a Bersa 22 Thunder here. You know Hollywood. As for specification, the Bersa Thunder 22 is a double single action compact pistol from Bersa Thunder series. The The color on this one is the two-tone silver frame with black slides and grips. Barrel length is 3.5 inches. The slide is blued steel in a matted finish. The frame material is aluminum alloy anodized in the bright matted finish. The sights are 3-dot with a notch bar dovetail rear sight. Grips are checkered polymer. The safeties include a manual thumb safety. There's a drop-proof firing pin safety, and there's a hammer block trigger disconnect when the safety is engaged. There's also a magazine disconnect safety, and there's even an integral key locking system. The manual safety also serves as a decocker. The magazine release is here. Magazine capacity is 10+1, and only one magazine comes with the gun. Extra magazines cost about $30. Overall length is 6 5/8 inches. Height is 4.9 inches. Width is 1.3 inches. Unloaded weight 18.65 ounces. Now before we go to the range, let's talk a little bit about function. The unloaded weight of the Bersa Thunder 22 is only 1 ounce lighter than the 380 version pistol. So close enough in weight to serve as a decent trainer for the 380 Thunder. That's better than you'll find with most 22 versions of pistols like the Walther PPK, Smith & Wesson M&P, or Beretta M22s. So basically we have a pistol that has a function that is very similar to the 380 version in feel, angle of grip, position of controls, etc. The feel is solid. The aluminum frame lightens the Bersa compared to a Walther PPK, for example, but still you get the feel of good weight and nice balance. The thumb shelf on the grips is well placed and ambidextrous. Obviously the slide is easier to rack, but only slightly. The Bersa Thunder's 22 magazine release is in the same place as the 380, falling away nicely. It looks like you can move the release button to the other side if you want. The magazine is sturdy, well built. The magazine has a loading assist knob on either side, which allows for really good feeding. It inserts nicely with a good click. Racking with the hammer back is very light, building till the end, maybe reaching 9 pounds in full. Like the 380, the 22 has very short half-cock position for the hammer. Hammer pull weight is about 4.5 pounds. Decocking with the thumb safety is a little stiff but sure. I can easily release the slide with my thumb, and the slide release seems well designed for that. The trigger is wide with a comfortable curve. The trigger pull weight in double action mode averages 8.5 pounds. In single action mode, the trigger pull weight averages 4.8 pounds. Trigger reset is about 1/4 inch with a very distinct audible and tactical click. Pretty good. I'm setting the target out to 24 feet, my usual training distance for everyday carry. I'm going to try out some different 22 ammo today. This is the first time I'm shooting this gun. It might need a break-in, so I'm keeping that in mind. I've got my favorite CCI Mini Mag, 22 rounds. I've got some Browning Pro 22 that I picked up on sale recently. I think I paid about $6 for the brick. I've got some CCI uppercut rounds that CCI claims are specifically designed to run well in 22 automatic handguns. I've had mixed luck with these, and they're quite expensive compared to the Mini Mags. And I've also got a range pack of 40 grain Federal rounds that I bought on sale a few years ago, maybe 5 cents a round at the time. I'm going to start with the Browning Pro 22, although I should mention that I haven't had any luck running these in my automatic pistols so far. But let's see how we do here. If they run well in the Bersa, that would really say something. Okay, let's see how we do. It helps to take the safety off. Bullseye, but we have a failure to cycle on the first round. That's not good. Another failure. The felt recoil is minimal. I like the feel of this gun. Nice grips. The pinky extension is very nice. Sights are very good. And another failure. Okay, that's enough of the Browning ammo. We'll switch to the CCI mini mags. These don't usually let me down, still at 24 feet. Accuracy is easy. Nice gun. Okay, let's bump the target out a few more feet, how about 10 yards? And let's try some headshots with these Federal rounds. Oops, got another failure to cycle. Let's try another magazine of these Federal. Okay, not bad. Now let's try these CCI uppercuts. They're supposed to be specifically for handgun use. Let's see how they run. And let's bump the target out to 36 feet. Smooth. Can't complain about that. Okay, let's talk about the cons. There are the typical complaints about lack of aftermarket accessories and the lack of a rail. And you'll usually hear about the overabundance of safety features on the Bersa, especially the magazine safety and the external key lock. However, most of the Bersa Thunder 22 complaints I've seen seem to focus on finicky reliability with specific ammo including frequent failures to feed issues. We saw that ourselves at the range. Higher velocity ammo like the CCI mini mags and the uppercuts ran best. But I've heard that CCI Stingers, Remington Golden Bullets, and Federal Automatch will also run well enough. I've been told that I can expect significant carbon fouling, although that may be dependent on the ammo used. So far I haven't experienced that problem. There are complaints about the stiff safety lever, which I would agree with, certainly compared to higher end guns like my SIG P232SL. There are reports of reliability problems and jamming, but again, these complaints seem to be related to the gun's need for frequent cleaning. There's a complaint that if you insert a magazine with force, it can cause the slide to automatically release. True, I can do that with this gun. There are concerns regarding the gun's long-term durability, such as the slide stop failing to catch. And finally, some users found the recoil snappy, and some found the beaver tail uncomfortable. Now, as for pros, the Bersa Thunder 22 gets high praise for being a good budget-friendly 22 handgun option. Likewise, this gun is known for its accuracy. We saw that. And remember that the Bersa Thunder is a metal gun, so it feels sturdy and solid. If you opt for the suppressor-ready version of the Bersa Thunder 22, it's indeed noted to be a good host for a suppressor. It might also help to know that the magazine disconnect can be disabled by removing a couple of parts. An Arma Laser TR16S red touch activated laser as well as the Crimson Trace LG442 laser grips are available for the Bersa Thunder. And many of the Walther PP and PPK holsters out there will fit the Bersa Thunder 22, although the Bersa's trigger guard is squared and slightly larger. If you're a fan of the Walther PPK, there's little doubt that the Bersa Thunder styling will appeal to you. Many like the dual finish, but the Thunder 22 can also be had in all black. You may also see a sort of an earth tone model out there. Finally, fans of the Bersa Thunder 22 suggest if you want optimum performance from your pistol, use high quality, high velocity ammo and just keep it clean, which is actually fairly easy to do, as you'll see next. Okay, as I said, disassembly of the Bersa Thunder 22 is really very easy. Rack the slide back and open. Remove the magazine. Push the takedown lever forward while pulling back and up on the slide. It's similar to a Beretta 92 but easier. Remove the slide similar to the Walther PPK. And that's it. Simple. To reassemble, basically follow the takedown steps in reverse. Return the slide to the frame, pull it back, and while pressing the takedown lever forward, allow the slide to come down on the frame. Release the takedown lever and allow the slide to come forward. Return the magazine and test for function. Quick and easy. Regarding price, according to Genetron.com, the average retail price of the Bersa Thunder 22 is about $300. True Gun Value suggests a price closer to $262. My search of internet sales suggests the average price of $288 today. Of course, if you're not buying from a local store, shipping and transfer fees could add as much as $65 to the price, making your actual cost closer to $350. Locally, I found most stores sold out of the 22 version of the Thunder. When I did find one available, my final cost ended up being $300 out the door. Since this one came with this plastic case and the store was nice enough to throw in a couple of extra magazines, I think I did okay. And here's the interesting point. A used Bersa Thunder 22 in 95% condition has an average value of about $258 today. So in my opinion, at that price, you might as well look for a new one. Now before we end today's video, I'd like to remind you that if you haven't already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe down below. And thanks for watching. In a nutshell, introduced in 1994, the Bersa Thunder handguns have been a consistently successful pistol line for the Argentina gun company. 30 years is a good long run, and it appears that you should be able to expect the production of the Bersa Thunder 380 and 22 models to continue into the future. How can I say that? Because in my opinion, the Bersa Thunder is the right design, delivering the right level of performance at an affordable price. I know that there are those who will tell you to avoid inexpensive pistol options like the Bersa. Oh yes, it's dated design, but based upon the timeless Walther PPK. Although not a PPK clone, the attraction is still there. And it's indeed a good-looking little pistol. Gun snobs will question how good can a Bersa Thunder be at that price, and true enough, it would appear that the Bersa Thunder 22 may very likely not respond well to cheap ammo. But I say, so what? It's a good-looking, good-feeling, and otherwise good shooting with good accuracy, and a 22 with a pretty good history of reliability with the right ammo and when kept clean, which I might say is easy to do with the Bersa's takedown procedure. And finally, the Bersa Thunder 22 appears to hold its value, which to me says a lot. So wrapping up, I like the 380 version of this pistol, and I like this 22 version. At this point, I'm thinking I probably should have gotten the threaded barrel version, but it was out of stock and only available in all black at the time. Still, I like this little gun. I mean, I really do. And what's not to like? For the money, the Bersa Thunder 22 is a pretty good deal for what you get. No, it's not really a target pistol, but it's still quite accurate. And no, it wouldn't be a good choice as an everyday carry firearm in my opinion because of its size and small caliber. But what can I say? It still puts a smile on my face whenever I shoot it. The fun factor of this little pistol by itself, in my opinion, is well worth its price. Any weapon you carry is better than the one you left at home. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll be back for my next tabletop review. Until next time, stay safe.